talking Jaguars football, the Ed Carberry Show. I'm Ramon Scott, and I'm joined by Southwestern College head coach, a happy head coach, Ed Carberry. We're in the win column, and joining us this week, defensive lineman. He had a big game last week, along with one of his buddies up front, Coach Brian Williamson, Andrew Sachet joining us. And Coach came down to a stop there at the end. We got the lead. Interestingly, the same exact score as the Beach Bowl last year, 28-24, but great job by the defense in the fourth quarter, holding the Comets. Nobody scored in that fourth quarter, a game that got kind of crazy there in the third quarter.
Well, it's definitely community college football. There's no doubt. You think everything's done and you've got complete control of the game. And next thing you know, 2 more touchdowns are in there and we're fighting for our life.
And Andrew, great performance by you and Brian Williams up front. You guys chased down Shea Morales, I think, on that last play of the game to force a turnover on downs and secure the win. But, man, you guys combined, you had a sack and Brian had a sack. How much were you guys getting after Morales, especially after Rodney Thompson left the game with an injury?
We felt like Rodney went out with an injury. We felt like if the second string quarterback were to get a lot of pressure in his face, he wouldn't be able to play to his full potential because he'll probably be more worried about the pressure. So me as the captain of D-line, I felt like we should just get after the quarterback, especially we didn't really perform as we should week 1. So I probably told my D-line, like, hey, we got to get after it this week.
Coach, what was the defensive game plan like? Morales is not an inexperienced quarterback. I'm pretty sure that we would have seen him as well as Thompson. He's definitely played quite a bit before. How did that alter the defensive philosophy for the Jags after that happened?
Well, what we tried to do is play field position football. We got out in front at halftime. We had a nice touchdown right before halftime. We just kind of put the load on the back of the defense late in the game. It was 4th and 1, and everybody wanted us to go for it. The players are, hey, you know what? Let's get it done. We said, you know what? We're going to punt them as far away from our goal line, and then win this game with playing great defense. And that's what happened.
And there was some interesting plays too, Coach. A block punt for a touchdown that made it 28-10, but they also had an interception return of their own by Jay Kraft. That kind of factored into it as well. But how about that special teams play? Tell me about it.
Well, it was really not a block, no specific really finesse, something that you worked on during the week. He just came off the edge, and there was nobody there to block him. He went right by and blocked the punt. There's an old adage about 80%. If you block a punt, you win 80% of the time because it has such a major impact on the game. It's totally demoralizing for the opponent.
Did you feel some momentum at that time, Andrew?
Yeah, actually, I felt like we won the game. We had the game secure after that block punt. But then after that, they scored like back-to-back plays.
And that changed the complexion, brought them right back into the game. But just tell me about what they were doing with you and Brian on their offensive line, because really you guys looks like they were just menacing, Coach. They both had the sack, as I mentioned, but Brian had 3 tackles for loss and a forced fumble, and Andrew also had the sack. And what he said was maybe they were doubling you early, and then when Brian started to go, they were more focusing on him, and that allowed you to make some plays. Did you guys see this as part of their strategy as the game unfolded? Andrew?
Yeah, I did. I felt we played Palomar twice last year, and I felt like those were my 2 best games of last year. And I talked to actually one of the coaches after the game, and he said that he still remembered me from last year. And he actually told me about Brian. He said that Brian was a real stud. So I felt like they were trying to game plan between the 2 D tackles between me and Brian.
Yeah, and I think Matkins also got in there, coach, and did some work too. Ubaldo Torres, Anthony Quinney. You guys kind of hold the Comets number right now. The 2 wins last year, the win this year. How far back does your dominance go right now over Palomar?
Well, it's awfully hard to beat Palomar for years. In fact, maybe for decades, they were kind of the straw that stirred the drink in San Diego. So to be able to beat them 3 times in a row has really been a great credit to the kids and the program. We had a couple of key points that happened in the game. One was the touchdown pass right before the end of half, put us up 14-7, and then the block punt was incredibly significant. And then the most important thing, really, from an energy standpoint to the team, was that goal line stand. And the one huge play was Brian. Somehow they left Brian Williams alone to go straight into the backfield. And you could hear that hit all the way down in Imperial Beach.
Andrew, on that play, did you see his opening? Did you know that something was going to happen, and you were just going to take on your 2 guys probably, and knew that Brian was going to get in there, just keep your guys occupied, and so they can't see out of the corner of the eye?
Well, yeah, on that play, actually, I was on the sideline. I was getting some water, and Anthony was in for me, and I just heard the big hit, and I just heard the whole crowd go, "Whoa!" And then after that, I went to go on huddle after the game and look at the hit, and I was like, "Dang, that was a good hit."
It was.
Yeah,
It was.
Coach, they outgained us by about 100 yards, but, you did have the big plays. Keelan Chapman, a 42-yard run in the third quarter. That gave you the 11-point lead at the time, and Tyler Sycon found the end zone. That's the touchdown you were talking about in the second quarter. And also Joshua Owen, a 53-yard run. Big plays this week, Coach.
Yeah, we had a lot of explosive plays. Andrew was involved in that run by Keelan Chapman. We have a power group we call Rambo, and Rambo always wins, right? No matter you have 15 tanks out there and all the other things coming after him, somehow Rambo wins, and that's who we got going. And Andrew plays fullback on that play, led right up the middle. They have to commit to everybody. They've got to get 11 guys up on the line of scrimmage, or we're going to gain that yard. They brought everybody up, and he popped right out the back.
Andrew, have you been part of the jumbo package before with this team last year? Tell me about that.
Yeah, actually, I get real excited for it because I was in the last year. I take actually good pride in it because my dad, he actually played fullback in high school. So when I get to go and play fullback, it kind of makes me feel good.
Coach, we got a touchdown vulture here with us. You gonna stick the ball in his belly?
Absolutely, that's going to happen at some point in time. They're going to be stunned. We got to get that one in there.
Andrew, you mentioned high school. How closely are you following your Hornets this year? Man, just another great team. Last week a little bit rough what happened up there, but still look
Yeah.
at a team that's going to be right on the edge. It's going to be close if they can get in the open division.
Yeah, they're looking real good. Actually, my little brother, he plays linebacker for them. So I talk to him all the time about what's going on, and they're looking real good right now, actually.
Yeah, Coach Ed probably knows about your little brother too.
Not little.
Not a little brother, right?
Right.
Yeah. Oh, well, great job, Coach. We're in the win column. This week we're playing Victor Valley, right? So
Right.
they didn't look too sharp last week. They actually started out with a lead, playing a good, obviously Chafee. So, but they got out to a 5-0 lead against Chafee. What do you know about Victor Valley right now? They did win in week 1.
Well, I'm going to turn it over to Andrew because he's studied the offense inside now. We have scouting reports, tests on that, tests on the video. But I think Andrew would be a good person to talk and give a comment or two about Victor Valley's offense.
Yeah, Andrew, let's hear it. I think this sounds like like a test right now. Tell me about the Rams.
I think their quarterback is probably gonna be like Palomar. They run their offense through the quarterback. So I feel like if we get pressure in the quarterback, I think we can win the game a lot. The receivers, they look pretty nice. Running backs look pretty nice, but I feel like the quarterback is probably the best player on the team. So if we get pressure in his face, then I think we should be able to win.
Coach, how have we done against the Rams?
Well, the Rams overall, I can't remember the exact numbers, but we've battled them. Dave Hoover, who was the head coach there from 2000 to the present, he's not coaching there right now. Right before the season started, he stepped down, and they've got the same coaches or on the same staff is there together. The offense, as Andrew said, is pretty similar. The defense, they've run a 3-3-5 for a long time. They have a core box of 6 guys that don't come out no matter what the formation is. Then they have 5 guys that kind of are like an umbrella over the top. The kicking game, they're real strong in that area because they have speed. So if you have speed, you can cover and you can return. The punters struggled a little bit, and the PAT field goal kicker he kicks it down to about the 10-yard line, but he's been effective. They went out the gate and beat LA Valley, a team that's been really super competitive, and so then they came back and lost to Chafee. So we'll see who they are. Just going up there to the high desert.
Yeah, Andrew, and you talk about their quarterback. His name is Brian Hughes. He's a freshman, and really, he's accounted, for most of their offense. They've only passed for about 100 yards over the 2 games, but he has 180 yards rushing and 86 yards passing. I mean, this guy really is accounted for practically half of their yardage so far. So
Yeah.
it all starts with him, huh?
Yeah.
He definitely he's a threat to pull the ball down and run anytime he's got the ball in his hands. He's got good speed. He's a physical runner. I think he weighs about 220, and so they feel pretty comfortable giving him the ball in a running situation.
All right, guys. Well, that's about all I have for you this week, Coach. I'm not going to bother you with the other teams this week. If I had Dave, I think we could, go into it a little bit. Maybe you have an observation or two. Mesa with their 51-33 win over Golden West. Great job, really. That's big news, really, isn't it?
Oh yeah, Mesa. They're on a roll, and to beat Golden West that way really made a statement about them and us, really. They scored 51 points against Golden West and only really about 7 against us, maybe even 4 if you just count the actual football kind of scores that occurred. So that'll be interesting. Who does Palomar play?
Palomar, let's see. I don't have it right now. I know that Pierce is playing at Mesa.
Okay.
And Mount San Jacinto is at Grossmont. Right? It's supposed to be the home game, so we're kind of looking forward to that. Finally getting that home game. So I think that's one thing to be excited. Unless there's, late change of plans, expecting Grossmont to play at home this week. How about that? on their new field.
Well, I heard talk to our dean, Jim Spillers, who was telling me that they might have bleachers that are about 4 or 5 feet high, and then they're going to encourage people to, bring out folding chairs and whatnot along the sidelines. So that should be pretty interesting in that regard.
Palomar does have a tough game this week. They're going to be at Citrus. So I think the teams are rated relatively even, but Citrus will be at home in that one. So
yeah, Citrus is solid. It's a hard place to play. The field is, unless they've changed it recently, the last time we were there it was really old and didn't fit up very well. So you're up there in the high, kind of right at the foothills. It gets a little hot up there and a lot of smog. They're right next to Azusa Pacific University, and so it makes it tough, really, to get around there.
And Richard mentioned Canyons beat Grossmont last week, 41-13. I do have the new poll out, Coach. I don't know if you saw it. In the JC Athletic Bureau poll, kind of a mixed bag at the top, but Riverside City #1, Butte, San Mateo, Saddleback, and American River. And in the Triple CISA poll, Riverside got 11 of the 12 first place votes. Saddleback was 8th. They got the other one first place vote. Southwestern, 21st in the JC Athletic Bureau poll, 23rd in the Triple CSIA poll. Mesa also, they were 13th in the JC Athletic Bureau poll and 16th in the other, and Palomar received votes in both polls. So anything?
It's hard to move up in the poll, and so to let it slip down there from early in the season, that's a little frustrating. But all we can say is on to Victor Valley.
And everybody came out healthy, Coach. No changes this week in the preparations for Victor Valley.
No, I think on game day they call it Doc Saturday. Comes through. Everybody's healthy on Saturday. We've had a few guys that we've limited, how much they hit, and we're going to go from there. But I think it'll be by Saturday, everybody will be good to go.
Well, I asked you about the big plays, so I don't know if you want to talk about any of these guys before I let you go. But Reed with that big run, and Damon Wigland also had 20. He's on the comments. I'm sorry about that, but
I'm starting to think, man, I don't even know who that is.
Yeah. Well, let me hit you up with this, Coach. What do you think the prospects are for Andrew for the rest of this season and moving forward in his football career?
Well, we're blessed to have him back this year. He came close to leaving after the first year with a scholarship, and we're excited to have him back in action. He's one of the premier players in Southern California. He was first team all conference a year ago, and I would imagine he'll be first team all state this year. He's the guy that everybody is looking for. Every college in the country is trying to find that guy who can get in the A gap on a little bit of a tilt and make the center and guard double team him so the linebackers can make plays. And Andrew's super physical. We get inside. We get challenged during practice every day. We'll do a inside run, and Andrew's always a factor in there. But he's a hard-working guy. He is a great father, and we're all really excited to have him back.
And Andrew, what you heard what Coach said and what I don't know kind of expects from you, but what are your goals for your football career? Not only finishing out this year and finishing strong and leading Jaguars to victories, but beyond this year.
My goal was always to play D1 ball, and out of high school, I didn't get no Division I offer, so I actually talked to Coach CARBERRY, and he told me to come here, and he told me if I put the work in, then I can be able to go to D1. So that's just my goal, to go D1 and play football at the next level.
Crazy, Coach. Drew didn't get many looks. You think of some of the players right now at Lincoln. They're starting to, get some attention over there. But maybe Andrew's time just came a little too soon with the Hornets.
Might have been. He not only did he get a lot of work done when coming out of Lincoln, but there's the last time I saw Lincoln play, it seemed like they had more linemen than they did the year before when they were just such a dominant force last year. So we'll see about that. But right now we're starting to get all kinds of recruiters contacting us, especially for guys that can leave in December like Andrew. It's going to open a lot of opportunities for him very soon.
All right. Well, we're on the road this week at Victor Valley. Good luck to you, Andrew, against the Rams. Coach, good luck. I expect to be talking about a victory next
Sounds
week.
great.
So it sounds like a difficult to go on the road, but that's what I'm expecting. All right, guys. Yep. For Andrew Sachet and Ed Carberry, I'm Ramon Scott. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
All right.